The United States is cutting funding for the United Nations agency that helps Palestinian refugees. In a statement, the State Department called the UN Relief and Works Agency an irredeemably flawed organization. Just last week, the U.S. slashed bilateral aid for projects in the West Bank and Gaza. CBS News State Department reporter Kylie Atwood is in our Washington bureau. Kylie, how much funding are we talking about, and how big of a blow is this to the agency?
Well, Nikki, this is a huge blow to UNRWA, and that's because the U.S. has traditionally provided about a third of their total funding. And this year, the U.S. has only provided $60 million to the organization, compared to last year when it provided over $360 million. So clearly, the organization is going to feel this tremendously as it tries to carry out the programming for Palestinian refugees. They give them education, they give them emergency services, and they're also providing them with other support that they need as refugees. I also want to point out that these refugees aren't in the West Bank and Gaza alone. They're also in neighboring countries such as Syria and Lebanon.
It's a devastating decision for these refugees. Do we know where this decision came from?
We know that a lot of this decision came from U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley. She took it very personally that the U.S. was treated really badly on the world stage when they moved their U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem earlier this year. The U.S. was bashed, and even this week she said that Palestinians continue to bash Americans. She remained frustrated, and she has carried that out. And it's created this decision. We also know that Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, who is one of the leaders trying to push forward the U.S. peace plan in the area, we also know that he was a proponent of this decision because he has actually said in articles reported by The New Yorker that he saw the need to break things in order to make them better. And clearly that is what the U.S. is doing here with this decision.
What kind of reaction are you hearing so far?
Well, we heard President Abbas's spokesperson come out immediately and react really negatively to this decision. He said it was a flagrant assault on the Palestinian people. We also heard from the representative to Palestine here in the U.S. come out and say that the U.S. is reneging on its international commitments and responsibilities here. So the Palestinians are extremely frustrated. We also know that Israelis are going to be supportive of this if they're hardliners. But traditionally, Israelis haven't always been proponents of dropping this aid, because what that means is that Palestinian children and Palestinian refugees aren't going to school. We know that UNRWA has enough money to send children to the schools. They have over 600 schools through the end of September. But then after that, the children aren't going to have enough funding. Now, they're going to look for more funding, but that means more children running around, creating a raucous atmosphere in these areas that are already stricken with poverty and tremendous hardships.
Tough for these children. Kylie Atwood, thank you so much for your reporting.